Big Questions with the Dead Milkmen.
This is our second episode where we have a guest.
Yes, yep.
We'll be interviewing him. His name is Matt Teacher. Hi, Matt. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Joe.
Matt is the founder of Giving Groove Records, who put out the Dead Milkmen's EP, Welcome to the End of the World, and just now put out a single by the Dead Milkmen covering Heaven 17's We Don't Need This Fascist Groove thing. And Matt's label is special. Matt, can you tell us a little bit about what the Giving Groove is all about? What's giving about it?
Sure. So we operate under an artist-friendly, socially conscious model where we pay our artists 50% of all after-tax profits, and then we choose a music-related 501c3 charity to donate the labels 50% to, and we select each charity alongside each band that releases with us. So for you guys, you selected Girls Rock Philly, and that's how we work it.
Cool. How can you sustain a business that doesn't make a profit?
Don't know. It's definitely one of the many things that me and my partners have our hands in. It is not a full-time. There's an administration fee where we take a small salary. It is not a livable wage, but it's a passion project, and it's one of the many things we do. We also run Sine Recording Studios in Philly, and also have our hand in a few other things. So.
You know, Steve Bannon just found a way to run a charity and make a sizable wage. But we're not here to talk about that. That's not going to be brought up tonight at all.
I had written him a letter asking for advice, but
what gave you, how did you get this idea to make a half and half?
Sure. So as the studio was we launched the studio in 2006. So about 2016, my partner Mike and I were looking for a way to kind of expand what we were doing in the music industry. And we kicked around a bunch of ideas. And then I kind of had the idea, my dad and stepmom had started a cookbook publishing company called Burgess Lee Press. And it operated under the model that 50% went to the author of the book and the other 50% went to a food-related charity, such as like Edible Schoolyard or something like that. And I thought, let me adapt this to the music industry. And that's what we did.
Oh. What other releases have you done on your label?
So we put out a ridiculously amazing record from the punk rock band Decontrol that will just melt your face off.
Yes,
yeah.
I believe it's called Thoughts and Prayers.
Thoughts and Prayers.
I have 10 copies of it, yeah. it is
good.
Good.
Like the state of the world is just, the lyrics keep getting more and more relevant, if that's possible. So we did that. Great psychedelic rock band, Ooh La La. We put out a kind of experimental indie rock pop record last year, or 2 years ago, called Pretend Collective, that we've been getting really good feedback on. And these days we're working with you guys. We have a great R&B pop artist, Ave, that we've been putting out singles with. And they're very amazing. Love working with them. And that's really been keeping us busy. We have a Palestinian hip hop artist named A-Rob who is great. So for us, it's all about the mission of the label and not necessarily genre specific.
Would you ever consider doing like one of those mix compilations of everything on the label?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. If we, there is actually like a little plan for that written down. If we got all the artists pull together, contribute to one charity with the compilation, it's definitely something that we're looking at in the future.
And why did you choose the format vinyl and MP3 only?
Well, I would definitely say when we launched, there was a definite learning curve as far as sinking a lot of money into vinyl as opposed to, say, music videos. And we learned there are some artists, like the Milkmen, like you guys, where your fan base loves vinyl. They go out the door as soon as we have them in. There's other artists that are new, people don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is there's a lot of vinyl in the basement of this building. Not Milkmen vinyl, though.
You can melt it down and make fetish clothing.
Yeah. We don't do vinyl for everything anymore. That was something.
Do you ever do CDs?
We did CDs for one project we released, Joey Sweeney and the Neon Grease. We did a small batch of CDs of his great record. So yeah, whatever makes sense, whatever the fans want, we will do. It's no.
Okay, so I was just thinking it was vinyl only because that's what we had.
Yeah. Oh, do you want CDs? We could do CDs.
Well, I've gotten a few requests from people asking, not me personally, but people say, "Oh, how can I get a CD?" And I would just say, "Well, why don't you just buy the Wave and burn one?" And then people don't have burners anymore.
Right. I guess there is that.
I don't even understand it.
All your stuff's available on Amazon on demand, where you can buy it. And I guess
that's true.
You need a CD burner.
I guess I should. I forgot about that actually.
Right.
On Amazon.
Yeah.
What is your musical background like? What did you grow up like? Can you talk about your musical background at all?
Sure. Yeah. As a young kid, I took cello and piano lessons and hated it and didn't want anything to do with it. And then I know you guys, Rodney, I know you're not going to see eye to eye with me, but I was right in that right line to hit the Nirvana thing, got me interested in playing guitar. I think we had a...
No problem with that at all.
And I would say in 7th grade, Mike, my partner that I run the studio with, and I started playing music together. And from that very early age, we had almost immediately got a 4-track cassette recorder and then an 8-track digital recorder. And his parents were great, letting us make noise in the basement. And from the time we started playing, we were always gigging and touring. And then in high school, our other buddy Ben joined the group, and we were like a real band. But we were always really interested in recording, and we knew the chance of us actually making a living as musicians was probably pretty slim. So we were like, the studio is like the best backup plan we could have, where we can still goof off all day and make music. And so that's what we did.
Cool.
How busy is your studio now in these weird times?
Unemployment's been great.
Oh, you do a lot of free time. Is that when you're...
Oh, I mean, the label is keeping me very busy. Luckily, we had all this stuff in the pipeline that has been going great. But yeah, we have not. I've seen a couple studios start to open, but our job is literally usually we don't do very much instrumental music. So it's literally people pushing air out of their mouths into microphones that need to be used.
You don't want that.
So we can have somebody in and let stuff sit for a couple weeks and disinfect everything. But so far, it hasn't been possible to open yet.
You haven't done any mixing projects or anything?
No, we've mixed stuff for the label, so not revenue coming through the studio, but stuff that the label has going on. Yeah, we mixed a new Pretend Collective single and put that out. And we've got a few other singles coming out from different bands that we're really excited about that just haven't quite been announced yet.
Can you talk at all about the different charities that have benefited from the Giving Groove bottle?
Sure. Yeah. One of the best, the example I always go to is your guys, because you have been able to support them better than any of our other artists, is Girls Rock Philly. And we also, pre-COVID, got to go to their showcase at Union Transfer, and you got to see the girls, all perform.
And yet now I'm worried that if girls start rocking, it'll put male musicians out of work. Because the Liverbirds were so much better than the Beatles. If they'd have put the Beatles out of work, I'd never have to hear about Sgt. Pepper. That would have been great. So yeah.
Okay, you have it. But as far as other charities, A-Rob, our Palestinian rapper, found this organization named Al Bustan. That's a local Philly organization that organizes seminars and tabla circles for youth and all sorts of things that he was very passionate about. And then Pretend Collective, Mike Riley, the artist that put that together, had lost a musician friend, to suicide, and a lot of the songs were about that, and he was very passionate about that. And so we found a charity called Nucci Space for him that just is suicide awareness amongst the music community. And so really, we just try to find whatever the artists are passionate about and try to find something to connect them to.
It's cool.
Dan, everybody keeps taking your turn. Do you have anything you want to ask?
Yeah, I've been dying to ask Matt. because I guess Matt, you and I met through Bunny Savage.
Absolutely, the one and only.
How did you meet Bunny Savage?
He was just standing on the corner. I think I met Bunny Savage.
That's every story about him. How'd you meet him? Oh, he's just standing on the corner.
That's how I met him.
That's Cinnamon's corner normally.
I met him. I think I met him kind of simultaneously hanging out at Lickety Split at 4th and South and Connie's Rick Rack in the Italian Market.
Makes sense.
Just kept crossing paths there. Yeah, I could be wrong. Feel free to call in, Bunny, and correct me, but that's how I.
So that's how we got in touch with you, right? Through Dan.
Well, no, that's not true. I knew he was connected to you guys, but I got in touch with you through Decontrol because you were playing at Mojo 13, I believe, in Delaware with Decontrol, and I came out to the show. And Dan, I had met you previous to that.
That's right.
And so I was like, hey, we got this new record label. And
That was
somehow
like-
you guys fell for it. I'm not sure.
That was Rodney and Dean's birthday.
Yes,
That's
that
not
was
That was a fun weekend.
good weekend. Yeah, Decontrol gave me a Batmobile. For those of you who are not familiar with Bunny Savage was actually thrown out of an open mic thing down at the WXPN thing or whatever, and he's been trying to sneak back in ever since. But yes, he had quite an interesting, just really funny song, and he got up and just started launching. There are find him. There are millions of stories about this guy. It's quite entertaining.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where do you see the label doing in 5 years?
Putting out new Milkmen records, really, right?
Hopefully not the one we've been working on.
Yeah, in 5 years that will be ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really just honing our industry relationships, like the good people in the industry that are trying to do good. And one of the great things about starting this label is, especially since the press about this record release has come out, is I've been contacted several times by people that are doing similar good works things within the music industry. And just kind of building that network of people that feel like, the music industry doesn't need to be that sleazy. It can be more like the book publishing industry, where everyone's your friend.
Yeah.
Most people.
So, I mean, what do you feel about the streaming the streaming technology and stuff that seems to have taken over everything? How does that play in the world of record companies and that kind of thing?
Well, I don't think we're going back. I don't think anyone has it figured out quite yet. I don't think they pay a livable wage, which I think most people agree with. I don't think Spotify thinks of their product as art. They think of it as a platform by which to exploit art, which is the wrong way to think about it. And so I don't know exactly, but I think the technology is a good step, but the business behind it needs to be revised, and we need to figure something out, especially now that there's no live shows for the time being. I mean,
there needs to be a Bandcamp Spotify. In other words, there needs to be something that takes that Bandcamp model of the artist getting most of the money and apply that to some sort of streaming service. If you can do that, but unfortunately with Spotify, basically the record companies made a deal with Spotify, saying, here, you can take all this from artists if you give us a piece of your business. So yeah. So,
all right. Absolutely, and the record labels have stock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think something like Giving Groove opens the door for more people to be open-minded about that kind of stuff. Because you take 50% goes to the band and 50 to a charity, it makes people think, oh, maybe we should give more to the artists too, and then a little.
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like that to be the case. Definitely.
You have a presence on Bandcamp also, right? The Giving Groove.
Yes, we do. We do. Your new record is up there for pre-order. It will go live tomorrow.
Do you have any announcements for anybody who tuning in? I guess this is going to go live 2 days from now.
It's Saturday.
Ooh, I don't know if timing-wise it's going to work out. I have some good announcements, but I will say that we're yet again stepping into a different genre with some very well-known Philly-centric musicians, and I'm very excited about what we're going to put out. And maybe you'll have me back on and I'll announce for real.
This isn't somebody going to be playing Coming Around the Mountain by flapping their aren't they?
Oh, it's gonna be Bunny
Doing this
Savage
act.
doing that. You know that, right?
And
Dinesh D'Souza.
that was the last live show I saw with the Flipmen out in
Oh yeah.
New Hope. It was March 13th.
Yeah, that was pretty much the day everything shut down.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That was the last day of the rest of our lives.
We'll live in infamy.
Get that show in before everything shuts down.
Matt, do you have any recommendations for our audience?
Okay. I was thinking you said gear, books, movies.
Could be anything, really.
I'm gonna say the last really great movie I saw that I liked was a Swedish film called Aniara, which is kind of a futuristic, except you don't know what. I had to get approval that my pronunciation was correct. You kind of don't know where in the future you are, but it's definitely in the future, and this ship is taking people. They need to leave Earth. Excuse me. That's another Milkman order coming in. But they blow an engine, and they're just coasting through space, and it goes from like day 1 to day 3 to year 2 to year 20, and you watch these people evolve, and they go through different processes, and cults start evolve. It's pretty interesting. I recommend that. Gear-wise, got a motorcycle. One of our old interns, actually, Will, started this company called Kick Block, and if anybody's ever been beaten on their kick so much that it starts scooting forward, and you're on some closed loop carpeting, it's a nice little lightweight foam block that locks in. This is actually the second product, the pedal block, which I need for my Yamaha piano back there because the pedal keeps sliding. You just stick it down, it holds everything right in place. Perfect. Love it.
Cool.
Oh.
So it's a shout out to Kick Block.
Cool.
Thanks.
I
Yeah.
secrete a sticky substance that keeps everything in place. So I just don't.
I was going to break out this. I hope Mike, my partner, doesn't watch this because I shopped for his Christmas present early. I was going to break this out, but I saw you guys had this on another episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I like
It's really big.
Huge. How could I not get this for Mike, though? So I thought I already had it for a month.
Does it get really low? Is it really bassy? Like, does it get?
I haven't opened it.
Oh my God, I would love
Hey,
to.
you don't open other people's presents. That's not how it works. What are you on?
Difficult, but
I
I
just
haven't.
moved mine. Where did I put that? It's the little black one. It was like it's like this big.
Yeah.
I can't believe how big is that thing.
Well, it's in a package.
2.5 feet, maybe. Yeah.
Wow.
Last recommendation. I tried to think of the strangest book I had read in the last 5 years since I'm coming on with the Milkmen, and I would have to say this David Ohle, Motorman. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this, but it's about this young guy. He's got a lot of different chambers with different hearts. They have to get filled up. He's trying to make his way on this adventure. Very strange and very good. So that's my recommendation here.
Cool.
That's cool.
Joseph?
So I have one recommendation. It's a YouTube show, and I actually am going to be on it. So by the time this airs, I will have been on it. So it's kind of self-serving. But actually, the show is funny, in my opinion. I have a dry sense of humor. It's called The Dennis Ball Show. And the host of the show is a tennis ball named Dennis. And he tells dad jokes. And the idea is that if you don't laugh at any of the 10 dad jokes, you win. And if you laugh at any of them, he wins.
That sounds great.
But he also talks to his guests, and he's had several guests on before.
Dan, save us from Joe.
I may be bringing it down or up a notch. If anybody watching has ever felt like suicidal or has any kind of mental health issue or thinks you might have a mental health issue, please talk to anybody. It could be anybody. Try anybody. If you spend the whole day trying people and you finally get somebody, just talk to somebody. And I'm just saying that in general for everybody. And there's always somebody. There's always somebody you can talk to.
Yeah, there's numbers out there you can call. Maybe we can include some in the notes of this
Maybe we'll
video.
throw one or two in the description. Yeah. Good
Yeah.
idea.
So that's my
Uh,
recommendation.
Bring us back.
Well, let's see. I was, of course, going to recommend that people go to thegivinggroove.com and check out all the cool music that they have put out over the past couple of years, including the Dead Milkmen. But there's plenty of other great music, including Decontrol and others. And I think that would be a truly wonderful thing. The other two things that I would recommend are not physical things. One is take naps. If you can afford to take a nap in the afternoon, take a nap because your body will enjoy it. And the other thing that your body will enjoy will be take a walk. If you can take a walk around your neighborhood, just, 20 minutes, it will clear your mind and it will be a wonderful thing.
That's so much.
I'm going to recommend the new album by Ganser. Just look at that sky. You look at it. I'm bitter. It's a lot of people watching are going, yes, we know about the Ganser album, but still a lot of people don't. It is spot on perfect. It is, some people say, well, it's post-punk, but usually when somebody says post-punk, they're making me listen to a band that sounds just like Joy Division. This is inspired by no wave. It's inspired by punk. It's inspired by post-punk, but it's not derivative of any of those. It's got this really wonderful sort of like jagged guitar that's sort of like, amphetamine, like, it is fantastic. I've been listening to it on loop constantly for days now, and it never gets old. New Ganser album, Just Look at That Sky. Trust me on this, you will love it. And if you know about the album, please go into the comments and try to get other people to listen to it. So, the other thing, let me just check my notes here, trying to see what we have here. Oh yeah, the other thing that I have was since I had a terrible allergy thing, I was on the sofa for like a couple days and just was so I'm a little bit behind. But I had a Tom Atkins film festival. What I saw was The Fog, Halloween 3, and Night of the Creeps. And Tom Atkins plays the same beer-guzzling madman in all of them, and you just want to hang out with him. Night of the Creeps, of course, is worth it for the great line, good news, girls, your dates are here. The bad news is they're dead. So have a Tom Atkins film festival this weekend, just particularly those 3 films where all he does is he's just so inappropriate as this beer guzzling maniac, this like 70s anti-hero, like dropped into these 80s films. Cannot recommend his acting enough.
Yeah, let's, I would say wrap up and recommend that everybody check out the new Dead Milkmen single, which is available from the givinggroove.com.
Go down that list of people and nobody's answering, you can message me.
Okay.
Your mental health or suicide, I'll help you. Believe it or not, I can help you. Or an eye or two.
Any last words, Matt, for the Dead Milkmen crew?
Thank you, Milkmen, for having me on. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, good citizen of Gotham.
Yeah.